Today, we're going to do a complete breakdown of Breakdown, the Xbox game originally released on the Xbox One? No, that's not right. Xbox Original. Yeah, that's it. Created by Namco, now known as Bandai Namco Entertainment, after numerous financial difficulties in the early 2000s, with the struggling Japanese economy and diminishing arcade market really damaging the company. Even at the time, Namco was repeatedly putting out great games. In 2005, the merger happened. Director Masafumi Shibano, known for his work on Time Crisis, only really worked on one other game from my research. That would be Breakdown. Spending 3 years working on it without him or his team having any prior experience working on the Xbox. Wanting a fighting game feel, Namco utilized Ryuji Ichikari, the lead game designer, working on nothing but fighting games his entire career, helping the game feel like the first-person fighting game for better and worse. So now that we got the framework for a decent game, we need the foundation, a story. Masahide Kito, writer of The Urban Reign, Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies, and Ace Combat 7, these men wanted to make one of the most immersive games ever. And with their powers combined, they created Breakdown.
Total memory loss? We haven't been able to determine the cause. His eyes are open, but he's not really conscious. Not 100% at least. His brain is still asleep.
Hey, wake up. You're our last chance.
So we're just going to go to work after this, right? Okay. You play as an amnesiac super soldier named Derek Cole. Hey, this reminds me of something. Breakdown, for all of its faults, does one thing better than anyone else: creating an atmosphere of immersion. You never leave Derek's perspective, just like Half-Life, a game that Namco was clearly inspired by.
See, in Half-Life, you get the sense that there's someone behind the scenes pulling the strings, making sure you're led by the nose to a predetermined outcome. Remember when I said that game developers after Half-Life took the wrong lessons from Half-Life? The game's linearity isn't just something they threw together, it's calculated, it's actually thematically relevant. Imagine that. See what happens when you hire writers?
I think this game actually learned to write lessons from Half-Life, at least in its narrative perspective. Every burger or energy drink you eat, every soda you drink, every item you pick up is in first person, and you see every detail. Yes, this does get very annoying and fast, all while also learning how to fight, shoot guns, and platform. Everything taking place in this large rehabilitation center that is the tutorial. The combat part of the tutorial showcases how incredibly the immersion is implemented into this game. You are able to test all of your combat moves in the mirror, and it actually is visible. No shortcuts at all to my knowledge. Every backflip, block, kick, and combo you throw is all actually visible. You're really doing it, when most games do everything they can to hide these things. Namco wanted you to at least think this is what every fight looked like from the outside looking in. You have an incredibly robust set of skills. even if Breakdown never truly teaches you how it's used. Breakdown's combat has more red flags than a Chinese military parade. Not only does it have a lock-on system in a first-person shooter, it's mandatory and inaccurate. Every single encounter involves you spraying and praying, not because I'm bad, but because Derek can't hit shit. But that's not the worst of it. Breakdown is a game designed around melee combat, and the tutorial kinda tells you what you need to survive, but not what you need to do to be successful. If you don't experiment, like most people won't, you won't learn any of the many high damaging and very effective combos Derek can do. If you don't learn any of these combos, Breakdown will become a luck-based adventure game. Did you know Breakdown has a guard break and an instant kill move? Because I've beaten the game 5 fucking times and never knew that. Until this playthrough. Now I know what you're thinking, a move that snaps next should make this game easy, and you would be wrong. Remember, mandatory lock-on in a game where you rarely fight one-on-one. There is no good way to fight multiple opponents, with most crowd control options being way later in the game. Because of story reasons, all using meter and having a startup time. And when running into multiple elite warriors, trust me, they're always trying to earn the gold medal in the Hood Olympics. That's why the combat in this first-person fighting game is so rough. Keep all of this in mind as the game progresses, because I will go into further details.
Don't worry, we gave you a little something to help you rest. We'll continue.
Kill him.
After training, eating, and going to bed, that woman appears again. You've been drugged and are about to be killed. Like I said, we never leave first person, so it's time to lose your lunch.
The research lab was full of soldiers. Okay, now it's time to lose your lunch. First thing we gotta do is get out of this building, and then meet up with Glenn.
This is Alex. Alex is our partner from the future for most of the game.
Anyway, it's good to see you again.
Derek and Alex team up to escape the CSC. So you're not executed by these soldiers. This girl we've never met before wants us to meet the chief scientist, Glenn. Now it's time for real combat, with very little ammo, horrible accuracy, and no way to restore your health in the middle of combat, except for by eating these Cliff Bars mid-fight. You will get shot while picking up items, by the way. By the end of the first encounter, I'm reduced to punching, and that works as well as you could imagine. While running through waves of troops and helicopters shooting out the windows with machine guns firing at you like it's a Resident Evil movie. While not running for their lives, you can hear a radio broadcast. Breakdown takes place in Yokohama, Japan, while earthquakes are ravaging the area. The soldiers that are trying to kill you are also slaughtering all of the scientists involved. Everything from the earthquake to your memory loss is from the experiments the scientists here have been doing on something known as the Nexus.
What the? Come on, warriors! How can this be? Run!
This is when we meet the T-Lan. They're invulnerable to human weaponry, well, physical attack specifically, because of their T-Lan shield. Without the ability to even annoy the Telon, Derek and Alex are split up and all you can do is manipulate their AI and run as fast as you can. Now that you've gained these powers, you can fight the Telon on an equal playing field. Well, it's not so equal here. I smashed this man into a wall and never let him fight back.
How did you do that? You killed that Talon warrior.
Once a Telon dies, they drop a red or blue orb, healing your health or your T-land meter. The main gameplay loop of Breakdown is shooting soldiers with machine guns or fighting Mr. X clones, to then go around picking up ammo and health, before progressing to your next objective. So maybe this is why the game is called Breakdown, because you might be having a mental breakdown. This is pretty cool storytelling though. Through your visions, you're seeing some foreshadowing while moving locations through a time skip. Most games have to use tropes like getting knocked out for this same effect. For the most part, this game has been setting a tone and establishing how combat works. But now, it's time for the casual filter. The 15th floor has been on fire from a massive explosion. Telon soldiers are all over the place, and you have to fight them in the fire. And it is also your first encounter with two at once. Now the game will get much worse. But for now, you have to fight your way to the automated fire system. Put out the fire and escape this hellscape. Forcing Derek to escape out a window for the first platforming section, moving along the window ledges to safety, running into Alex and Nemesis. Wait, the ultimate Telon warrior Solus.
Yeah, that was definitely Solus.
You know him?
Yeah, well, I know I can't beat him. Sounds like there's a helicopter on the roof. That's our only ticket out of this place. Maybe killing us wasn't his objective. Anyway, we better get out of here before we run into him again.
This is a powerful tool against the military that are doing everything to stop Derek, including blowing up civilian helicopters.
You ready?
Good news is, if we can survive against the military, our own mind-causing foreshadowing hallucinations, and Fallout vaults, we can meet up with Glenn.
What a relief. They didn't change the security code. They haven't changed it in 15 years. Glenn is somewhere in the lab.
Other than warehouse gunfights and an early 2000s laser corridor that I glitched out from doing a skip, the T-LON and military security systems are the only real problems in this labs. Till, that's right, long-range T-LON assaults and the T-LON assassins. While not very tough on their own, when grouped with each other, they are very dangerous.
There wasn't any wall like this here before. This must be from the ruins. It's gone. Wow, their research has sure come a long way. Those kids. They're the Beta Project test subjects. Hey, that boy. It's Ernest. Help's on its way. Just stay put for now. It's okay. Something's almost wrong. Let's get out of here.
What do you mean, some? Meet Professor Stefania Wojcinski, creator of a device that's treatment for amnesia by episodic memory reconstruction. Meaning it's garbage. 10 years of worthless research, but she has more ways of getting funding. If only she could have cured you.
Well, you know, best you do not rely too much on memory, mister. Memories, they are not always from real events. Especially for someone like you, who has suffered amnesia. You understand what I say? I am Stefania Wojcinski. I wish I met you earlier. Think of the funding I would have if I managed to cure you, yes? But I won't stop my research, no matter what I must do.
Hope is a waking dream. Cute.
I am the one who killed you all of you, the sacrificial lambs of the Alpha Project.
Beneath our very feet is the Nexus, a control tower of sorts, hidden underground with tens of thousands of T-LON warriors, and Derek being the only survivor with T-LON powers. But his powers need to keep accelerating.
Dr. Ogawa! The soldiers have ordered us to hand over the data. If we don't, they'll take control of the research center by force.
So give it to them. Copying the data shouldn't take long.
But Dr. Ogawa, the data, it's gone.
So our friend Stefania, yeah, she might have done that.
Nexus. The project team is working on a plan, but
it's all up to you, Derek.
Thank you.
With the end of days upon us, we only have one hope. Derek.
Leave it to me.
But Derek's not exactly Arnold Schwarzenegger. But maybe with a little performance enhancer, that can change. Glenn has been perfecting his accelerant.
Derek, can I ask you something? Who is that girl?
Don't you know who she is?
No, I do not. She doesn't work for this research center. Why does she know so much? This is acceleration.
Now we have most of Derek's arsenal. Now capable of long-range attacks and a dive kick that makes Dr. Doom jealous. When it works. It's a very short fight. It's basically a tutorial for your new abilities. For now, you and Alex are traveling to Site Zero, the Nexus, and the Telon warriors are putting up a fight.
Here they come!
But hey, now we can at least get on this elevator and head straight to Site Zero. I guess since Alex is a chalk outline, we're going to have to save the world ourselves.
Derek, I'm okay, but there's no way I can get back up there. Let's go ahead separately. I'll see you at the entrance to Site Zero. Be careful.
I guess this bitch is John Henderson.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
As per usual, we proceed to Site Zero alone. Well, except for the elite warriors that are now showing up. They're powerful because they can block, and that can be devastating, unless you know the tactics to defeat them. Usually doing heavy damaging combos when they're not blocking, or fast ones with good knockback to keep yourself safe, just in case they do block, or just grabbing them. Problem is, it has startup, so you can get bodied while waiting to grab them. If you're able to get behind most enemies and use the grab, it becomes your instant kill. So when fighting the elites, the best tactic is to abuse their AI and snap their necks. When dealing with large amounts of them, or they have a long way to run to get to you, use your dive kick. These will become your most powerful tools through the playthrough.
You're a tough hombre. I thought we were the only ones who could stand up to the Talon. But here you are doing it with your bare hands.
Running into my favorite character in the game, First Lieutenant Gianna De Luca, leader of an elite squad of badass soldiers on their way to infiltrate the Nexus and stop the Telon. I guess we're not needed here because these guys are equipped with portable versions of the laser we saw earlier. Other than Derek and Alex, these are the only men on the planet Earth that can fight the Telon threat. Too bad the other soldiers still want Derek dead. But even the bad guys help us out a little by giving us a rocket launcher and a ride to the Nexus. Oh fuck, that's a tank. With the accelerant finally taking hold, you learn in front of these asshole elites, the shockwave. This is supposed to be a great tool that allows you to knock everyone away from you. It's supposed to be used as a get off me tool, but because of how long the startup is, if you're not prepared for the fight and want to use it as a defensive option, you're already dead. If used properly, this will break the game and stop the enemies from swarming you. But if you fuck up, your face becomes the center of a mosh pit.
Derek.
Object. Human. Hypothesis. Destination Nexus.
You have no chance. Activate these 3 valves and open the door. This guy is no joke. Derek and these foolish soldiers have no chance. Run. Run as fast as you can. Retreating into the sewage system with, of course, invisible women. This is actually kind of cool because you can see their footsteps in the sewage water. Breakdown has a lot of nice set pieces that are all pushing the story forward in some way, shape, or form. And if you haven't noticed, they are very much like Half-Life. Even including this warehouse sequence that's filled with plastic explosives. See, when I did a playthrough of this a year or so ago, things went differently.
Yeah, I figured out your puzzles. What the fuck was that? You're just a dick, game designer. You're just a dick.
But at least this time, I learned my lesson. But this goes into another set piece. Technically, our first boss fight, using a rocket launcher to take down this shittier version of that fight with the helicopter from Half-Life 2. But the same results. Trying to get to Site Zero is just set piece after set piece after set piece, with even a Sylvester Stallone daylight sequence. But at least it leads back to Alex, who's pinned down by a group of soldiers that we easily handle. There's a platoon of soldiers in our way, but they have no chance. Trying to defend Site Zero against Derek? I mean, the Telon shield door at least slows us down. Was that door from earlier there as a test to open the Nexus? There's so much story told through the gameplay that if you're really paying attention, it's kind of awesome. They don't have to keep repeatedly telling you, hey, we did this thing. You can find it in notes or just by looking at the world around you. Breakdown has a layer of confidence about its storytelling. Welcome to the Nexus, a Telon paradise. Look, it has its own sun, naked women running around, everything. Sure, they're invisible, but still. Too bad the scientists are getting out of here. They don't want to party like us. We just gotta get into this elevator and head into the Nexus, a giant tower in the center of Site Zero, where all the Telon congregate. So let's pull a little John Halo, get in a Jeep, and take a good old Sunday drive through an alien-infested hell. Stefania with her stolen research is down here hiding with the military. Most people in sci-fi don't usually hide inside the nest of the aliens. But who am I to judge? I'm running over the game's version of Jackals while my girlfriend critiques my driving. Good thing we run into our trusty badass Gianna and his Suicide Squad. But he got bad news.
I got something to tell you. Nexus is moving zillions of Talon warriors onto rockets. It's gonna send them all over the world.
If that happens, it's the end of our world.
Right. That's why we're gonna nuke this shithole before that happens.
What?
After we get the research data from the lab, of course.
Nuke it? You can't do that.
Hey, lady, I ain't done talking, okay? Some crazy bitch, no offense intended, sweet cakes, ran off with the research data we need. So we can't nuke this place until we find her.
This is where we pick up the last of our weaponry. The portable laser weapon that's able to rip through Telon shields. We probably won't be using it that much, but it is the only weapon capable of hurting Telon soldiers.
Okay, I think we might be able to jump it with the Jeep. But we should be ready to jump out of the Jeep in case we don't make it. Alright? Come on, let's go for it.
Look, I'm not Dominic Toretto. And where did Alex go?
Question. Reason. Behavior of female. Why? Investigation required. Question unanswered. Feel incomplete. Need answer. Question Derek. Feel you the same?
Without Alex and our Jeep, the most important thing, we're kind of left in the open for gunners of both races to wreck us. This is around the time Breakdown really starts to fully utilize its enemies to make you suffer. With gunners firing at us, while elites are running full sprint towards us. So we can't get to the guys that are doing the real damage. But that's just textbook shit. How about a wall of invisible women acting as a kind of minefield? Or our first Juggernaut Telon acting as a door to this bridge, not letting anyone pass. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think there was only going to be one of them? We are finally at the base of the tower, where Stefania and the military are making their final stand. Sure, they're trying to kill us, but we don't have to deal with that too much since there's a Jeep right over there, and a huge surplus of RC Cola behind them. It's an easy sequence that looks hard.
You will guarantee my safety, yes? What are you doing?
Walk over there, to the edge.
What are you going to do? I gave you the disc, didn't I? No! Stop! Please, stop this! Please! No!
The subject has dropped out of the picture. Over. Understood. You men get to the silo area and seal off that elevator.
Oh dear, my hair is all wet. What? No, I just wanted to continue my research. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Please. No. No. Want to die.
If only we could have been here faster. Good news is, she has a level 3 key card. The problem is, we're running out of time because the nukes are going to be here soon, and we got an entire tower to climb. Oh, I'm sorry again. Did you think that was the top? No. This is just to reach the entrance. And remember those enemy placements I was talking about? Yeah, Breakdown is starting to take off them training wheels. This is when Breakdown showcases its massive problems. The Telon powers you unlock are theoretically powerful, and should help Derek on his adventure. But the key word here is theoretically. The tools you're given have such high startup times that you can never use them for their intended purposes, like fighting ranged enemies. Or the biggest problem, multiple enemies. It feels like the developers designed the encounters knowing you would have these powers beforehand. Then, designed the powers. That's why I say theoretically, because if these moves were better, you could deal with every encounter as it was thrown at you. But since none of them are very useful, the difficulty spikes keep getting worse. Your best course of action is to do your best to separate them from the crowd and kill them one by one through neck breaks or high damage combos. A strategy I found out way later is If you time your shockwave attacks properly, you can devastate groups of enemies. But that's still RNG because if you're hit or they block or anything else really, you probably lost the encounter and it's time to reset. If you're actually able to enter this doorway, you will then see the Telon pods are ready to spread across the earth. And we're running out of time. And the Telon are happily going to slow us down for the next hour or so of gameplay. Gameplay is going to be traveling down through the Nexus with non-stop arena fights because these silos are not only holding Telon, but creating them, making every step a giant gauntlet, with every floor being another fight, all while our friend Gianna is fighting for his life, so Derek needs to hurry up. It's a very simple gameplay loop: parkour, gauntlet arena fight, into a sideways elevator room, rinse and repeat. The way through the Nexus is basically down one silo and up another. You would naturally assume that the jumps are the easy part, but you would be wrong. But if you get good at it, with how many times you'll die, you probably will. You will learn where the exit is or our next climbing position. You can just skip fights. So fuck having an 8 versus 1 fight. I'm just gonna get out of here, if I'm lucky. After an hour, you finally reach the top to find Gianna and his team. And you are way too late. Everyone is dead. The war is lost, and the Telon have spread across the earth. But there is something we still can do. Save the girl. Save Alex.
Derek. Run.
Leave the female. Baggage. Ready.
You motherfucker. It all comes down to this: a 1v1 duel against the avatar of the Nexus. And it ain't easy. Swatting you away like a bug and throwing energy plasma shots at you. You have to be patient while also being aggressive, looking for opportunities when he allows it.
Not finished yet. It is over, human.
Dragon 1-2, this is command. Commence operation, no return. Over. This is Dragon 1-2, say again. Dragon 1-2, I repeat. Commence operation, no return, immediately. Dragon 1-2, do you copy? Wilco, commencing operation, no return, out. Damn, why did you have to come to this?
Improbable.
This must be my fate. Dying like this. At least there's still hope. Don't look at me like that. Your work has just begun.
Impossible. Game over.
Completed the neural matrix decode sequence with the MEM scan, and he's made it through the hallucinations. Theoretically, he should wake up soon.
I sure hope so.
Hey, look!
Well, what do you know? Relax, it's over. You're still alive. We have Stefania to thank for this. Her prototype gave us hope again.
Was I dreaming?
I wish it was a dream. Derek, I want you to remain calm and listen to me. You losing that fight, and Alex dying, those are events that occurred a long, long time ago. We were using a memory scanner to help you re-experience your own memories of past events.
So, some of you should have caught on to what the big reveal was going to be. The game is a lot more subtle about it, but I had to highlight those moments to showcase what the story was doing. The game up to this point is a lie, a simulation. This is a memory viewing device made by Dr. Stefania. This was her pet project, and that's her cat. We've been reliving our memories of that day. The world ended 15 years ago. Breakdown never treats you like some paste eater, rarely hand-feeding you exposition. What's the first thing we see? We see the health bar added to the HUD. I know a lot of people that watch these videos were thinking, what's immersive about a health bar and a fucking lock-on system? The HUD is a part of the story, and now after leaving the Matrix, it's gone. It's the Animus 3 years before Assassin's Creed. This is the moment. This is the moment this game becomes special. What we thought were visions before were Derek's subconscious breaking through about what happened. Like living in the apocalypse in a ruined world. The time slip where we watched ourselves talk to Glenn, giving the player a feeling of deja vu. Seeing the invisible Tylon warriors as the undead Alex. For maybe this is guilt? Or perhaps sadness breaking through the Matrix, remembering Alex's death. I mean, can we even trust the story? Does Derek have amnesia? Or is it just as far back as the device will send him? Food for thought, because other than the writer Mitsuhide Kido, who knows? I mean, does it even matter? Because now we have to fight our way through a T-Land apocalypse.
This is tape number 4. Back to the matter at hand. Defeating Solus. Actually... What? Those bastards. Talon soldiers are closing in. I'll go to the central processing room. Derek, please go there, before the pendulum effect takes you back. It's time for you to save us all.
Please, Ernest. Don't die.
Is that Alex?
Who are you?
This is the first time Alex meets Derek. And that kid we saw earlier, that survived, well, until now, that's him. Fight after fight, we fight through the old laboratory Glenn worked in earlier, even seeing how the T-Land got in the first place. The best way to move in and out of these destroyed labs is through the missiles that were launched from the Nexus. It's a sort of stairwell for us. Street level is dire though, and fighting here is just pure suffering. So just run. Run as fast as you can, because there is no help. Everyone is dead, except for you, Alex, and Glenn.
You're here.
Glenn! You're alive. Are you alright?
I cannot die. Not yet. Not until I give this to you.
What's that?
Time was all we had in abundance, Derek. This formula is completely pure. This is the Ultra Accelerator.
Glenn did it. He made the Ultra Accelerant. But nothing can stop the elite warriors from attacking the facility. Except Derek. Becoming almost a superhero with everything powered up. More health, harder hitting, and faster combos. Stronger shockwaves, bigger energy balls, and this dive kick. I wouldn't be able to beat the game without it, and the ability to jump like Mario helps too. Unlocking the most powerful tool yet, slowing down time, like Solus did to us. Most of his abilities are still as useful as they were before, mostly because of the Dynasty Warriors levels of enemies that are being sent our way now. The pendulum effect is happening. We're getting sent back to change everything, and Alex is going with you knowing she will die anyway, but maybe she really doesn't care. The pendulum effect is sending us back in time, losing Alex in the process. She got sent to the start of the game. That's the reason why she was with us and why Derek's alive. Kinda like it was all fate. But if she went there, where are we going? Right after Alex was kidnapped. But with how powerful Derek has become, nothing really changes. We do more damage and we can jump over any problem. It's not really that power fantasy it should be though. We're going to struggle a lot. The ending of Breakdown is famously hard. But with these powers, we're able to take a lot of shortcuts and save some friends. Starting with our favorite Russian scientist.
You will get in here safely, yes?
The soldiers have no idea what's about to hit them, but they do know we're trying to stop the Nexus. Helping Dr. Stefania cuts the silo section in half.
Derek! Thank you! Thank you! You saved my life! This elevator leads to an area deep in the silos. I'll move this. I wish there was more I could do. Derek, I don't want to say goodbye to you. I want you to become the first test subject for my research.
I already am.
What, is that supposed to be a joke? Good luck, Derek.
Not just because of the elevator that gives us a massive shortcut, but because of our insane jumping ability. These platform sections are laughably easy, and funnily enough difficult. Can't anything just be easy in this game? Arriving at the top of the silo, we see Gianna and his crew still fighting off the Telon. We made it in time. The fight is so easy that all I do is super kick assault Telons until it's over. Gianna had a device to stop the missiles from firing. This time, we activate it.
Ah, shit, it's no good. They're growing back. We have to destroy Nexus. It's the only way. We bought some time at least. Cole, you'll have to finish this. You have to destroy Nexus. The entrance is that way. Cole, where's your partner?
She's been captured.
Well then, you better go save her. Leave no man or woman behind enemy lines.
Now it's time for the big showdown. And fuck up the son of a bitch that killed your girlfriend. And this time, save her life. This time we save the girl. This time we save the world. And this time we take this motherfuck. Oh shit. The fight goes about the same until round 2.
Not finished yet. What, human? Not surprised? Know you my actions? Not important. We make this round quick.
Where we both enter the stopped time. This time, this fight gets savage, pulling out all the stops. If you're lucky, he won't time stop very often. But you do have 2 options. If he stops time, you can just block and you'll block everything as long as you're locked on. If not, you can counteract his time stop with your own time stop. But if he decides to do this more than 2 or 3 times, you can't stop time with him. Honestly, block all the time, just in case he catches you off guard and stops time. You can just hold block and take everything he has offensively. With this and sidestepping constantly, so you really don't have to deal with this energy barrage. This fight will be easy. Maybe.
Derek. Remember, I am just Nexus's avatar.
I'm alive. Why am I alive?
I changed your fate.
Derek, you... I was looking all over for you. We got split up on the way back. And now, I finally found you. As long as Nexus still exists, the world is screwed, and our future belongs to the Talon. From here on, history is in your hands. Don't let me down. You have to destroy Nexus and change the future. Do you understand what I'm telling you, Derek? Let's go. Nexus has got to be around here somewhere. It's a force field of some kind. Damn, we can't get past it. Until you come back, I'll look for a way up to the surface. So come back, okay? Promise? Please. See you soon.
This is the real Nexus. Now for the hardest part of the game. That's right, not the giant arena with the badass boss fight. That wasn't the end. Now it's time to fight a bunch of vicious encounters where we're heavily outnumbered. This section is so difficult that a YouTuber I was watching his reference quit at this point. He quit his Let's Play at this location. Originally, when I was doing my Let's Play of this, I got hard stuck at this location. But since I have nothing better to do with my life, I have done this at least 4 times now. You will die countless times, doesn't matter how good you are. This is a wall of pain you must climb to see the ending. My only reliable way to clear out the massive hordes of elites is to repeatedly dive kick them until enough of them die that I can actually fight and pick off the remains. If you can actually do that bullshit, the second wave has multiple tanks. It's just pain from here. With the next 2 waves actually being the easiest with the invisible women and the assault T-Lons. It's saying a lot that an actual firing squad is easier to deal with than the rest of the section. But this is just here to bring up your spirits, since they are now mixing them all together, and this is actually the hardest part of the game. If you die here, you go all the way back to the beginning of this section. I have struggled for hours before at this, but I discovered in this speedrun you can burst them down with shockwave and slowing down time to kill the big dudes. I wish I knew this before I started this playthrough. The Nexus has one final defense. Except nowhere near as fun as that. We wake up to soldiers shooting machine guns in our face. We don't have our powers, using creative visuals to show the deaths of everyone around you again. Basically reliving the last 2 or 3 hours of the game. While in the Half-Life tutorial section, if you're not careful, you can actually break the game. If you look at Alex too early, you can softlock the game. Dealing with the soldiers without the ability to use your guns or your powers can be very difficult. For some reason, I struggled here. Most of my other playthroughs, I never had any problems here, but something just wouldn't let me progress. This section was full on unfair and ruined the pacing of the ending, which is something I never had problems with before. Finally, we reached the training room, taking rubber bullets and shooting all of our friends dead. Before, T-Lon warriors are thrown at us, we have nothing to fight them with. Except Dr. Glenn. The good doctor still gives us an accelerant, allowing us to fight back in this dream. You have to slow down time so that you can attack the orb that's following you. That's the Nexus that's possessing your brain. Use the warriors that are attacking you as fuel to slow down time and defeat it. Alex is waiting for us at Site Zero with a jeep and everything. Both you and her have to escape Site Zero while everything falls apart. It's our Halo Warthog section at the end of the game. It's glorious. The T-Lon are completely immobile. We've won. Now we just have to survive. Holy shit, everyone made it. Even the cat. But what happened to your timeline?
I don't know. I haven't disappeared or anything. It must still exist. But if I am still here, and I haven't changed, that must mean that history has taken two different paths. Our timeline is probably the same as it was before. But that's all right. We saved this world at least.
What the hell?
It's the pendulum effect. It's pulling me back.
Pendulum?
Get away from me, everyone! It'll pull you in! Derek, what are you doing? Derek, no! You'll get pulled into the future! You can't be serious. You plan on saving our world too? That's impossible! But maybe you can, Derek.
Maybe we can. Together.
Let's go then.
There are technically two endings here. The other one, you just kind of sit there and watch her get screwed over by the pendulum effect, where she disappears forever and most likely dies a very horrible death alone in the future with no humans left. Breakdown is ultimately a game with a lot of problems, mostly gameplay wise. Storytelling, on the other hand, is off the charts for a game of this era. For simply telling an alien invasion story with an amnesiac hero that's the last chance to save the world, just because it's a story that's very familiar doesn't mean it's not told well, through context clues and great characterization. While if you're media savvy, movies and video games, you can guess what's going to happen story-wise. For something that's $10 at the Microsoft Store, why not give it a try? I mean, well, the gameplay is suffering. Just pure suffering. But the story is something fun and engaging and something to experience.
Wow, you're a mess. But at least you're still breathing. Okay, now it's time to lose your lunch.